In the previous video, we have saved the informations about our map inside our map script, so we can show, turn on and off the positions of our forest, of our mountains, and of the empty tiles on our map. Now, I'm presenting those spheres in the center of a tile. All I did was go to map script, and inside the draw gizmos off, I added 0.5 to position X and position Y to place those spheres in the center point of a tile. Now, I would like to ensure that when we move our character, it cannot go on top of water, or it cannot move on top of mountain. So I want to ask the map class, before we move, if we can move in this direction, if this tile is on the list of our forest tiles or empty tiles, because if it is a mountain or water, we do not want to perform the movement logic. So how do we go about implementing this feature? Well, we are going to go to our character movement script, and inside our character movement script, as you might recall, we have this handle movement method. Now this method handles everything that is connected to our movement, and here we calculate the direction. So what we could do for now is select this code that calculates the direction, right click, quick actions, extract method, and let's call it calculate movement direction. Okay, so now we have this method separate, we have our direction. So what we need to do is we need to check basically if we can move in this direction. To do this, we need to have a reference to our map. So let's add serialized field map. We can add private in front of it. Okay. So we are going to assign this map reference through the inspector. And now, just before we move, so after we calculate the direction, we need to check if, and we would create something like map, can I move to? And we need to pass the position of a tile on top of which we want to move. And since we have this selected unit reference, we can access this .selectedUnit.transform.position, which is the position of our character, plus we are going to add to it the direction. Now it will complain because, for one, we have no method can I move to, and the second thing is that we cannot directly add vector 3 and vector 2. So we are going to add vector 2, so we are going to cast it to a vector 2, and we are going to add to it a direction. And only if this is true, then we are going to perform this selected unit handle movement method. Else, we are going to for now debug.log, and we are going to add can't move in the direction, and we can add direction to print out the vector of movement. Okay, for now this will be it. We need to create this can I move method inside our map class. So right click, quick actions, and generate this method, and right click and go to the definition of this method. So what is this vector 2 value? Well, this is unit position. Well, this is unit future position, but basically that's what it is. So we are going to simply create vector 2 int, because as you might recall, our lists contains, if we go to the definition of this method, we calculated the world position for cell position, and we add it to our temp list, and we return the temp list. So we are going to save here the world position of our tiles. So we need to convert our unit position, which is vector 2, so this is 0.5 and 0.5 at some point in the center of the tile. So what we are going to do is calculate a unit tile position equals, and we are going to call vector to int, and we are going to call floor to int, and we are going to pass unit position. So basically, if we go to Unity, we are going to see that our farmers are in the center of our tile. So their position is something like 0.5 and minus 2.5. And I want to calculate this position in the left corner of the cell, because this is the position of our cell in the world coordinate system. So this will be 0 and minus 3. Okay, so basically I want to floor this position of our unit to this corner of a tile, and next we are going to be able to compare it with our list. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to basically return and we want to return a bool value. And what we know so far is that we have those empty tiles and forest tiles which are walkable. Island tiles, of course, contains the mountain tiles as well, but we cannot go on top of the mountains, and we cannot go on top of the water, but water is not present either in the forest tile or empty tiles. So we are going to basically check if any of those lists contains our value. So what we can do is we can type empty tiles contains, and since this is a vector to int, we can easily compare it. So we are going to pass unit tile position. If this does not contain this position, we are going to also check if forest tiles contains, and we are going to pass this unit tile position. Now, to improve the speed of this, we could swap the lists to hash sets, so we could much more easily search those hash sets, but this is enough to check if we can move here or not. So let's maybe change it to be public method. Okay, and now let's file and save all, and let's go back to Unity. Okay, let me clear the console, and what we need to do is we need to select our character movement object. Here we have our character movement script, and we are going to drag here our map. And now when we press play, we should see that now we can actually move, and at the bottom of our screen, if we stop it, we are going to see can't move in the direction 0, -1. Okay, so now let me move a bit. Let me disable the gizmo so that we do not have those spheres. I'm going to move on top of the trees, and we had no trouble going here. If we try up, we are going to again see can't move in the direction 0, 1. So this is up. Okay, so it seems like our system works, but we still have no feedback for our player. The best way that we could show our player is to highlight where they can actually go. And we also want to implement some sort of an algorithm that will check if we are moving on top of the forest, then it will be much more costly to move here than if we were moving on the empty space. This forest is a difficult terrain. So basically this is what we are going to tackle in the next video. We are going to start finding out which positions are walkable, so on which tiles we can move before we run out of the movement points. Okay, again, if you have any trouble with any of those scripts, they will be available on GitHub. The link will be in the description. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.